Or you just stay in tune with Dr. Cha-Cha.
I don't think I could keep up with Dr. Cha-Cha.
You know, Dr. Cha-Cha, I'm thinking about Dr. Cha-Cha and that Cha-Cha song that we put in the first video.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Cha-Cha, if you ever watch these videos, you're going to have to use that as your theme song.
Yeah, you'll have to. That'd be great. I wish I had a great name like his.
I know. Can you imagine just those people in the background? Here's Dr. Cha-Cha, and in the background, Cha-Cha-Cha, Cha-Cha-Cha. I mean, it's great.
I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it too.
Hey everybody, I am Chuck Rogers and my very good friend Keith Dunn, and together we are Tabletop Coffee, talking about how to do life being bold
and never bitter.
And never bitter.
Never bitter until you're dealing with difficult people.
And this is part 2 of a 2-part series on how to deal with difficult people.
Yeah, and that first one that we were talking about, it got kind of crazy because we were talking about actually getting to a point where you felt like you needed to maybe cut people out of your life. And that just seems like it sounds really harsh.
Yeah.
But there are times when you really need to look at those types of relationships and how they may affect you. And so that might be something, if you haven't seen it, definitely go back and take a look at it.
Good idea to watch the first part.
Yeah. We're also thinking that we wanted to get some input from you guys on what do you think of this topic? And as far as dealing with difficult people, how do you deal with it?
Yeah. It'd be great to be able to get some feedback about situations that you've been in. Maybe throw those ideas out to us and we can throw them out to other people.
Yeah, that's great. So we're getting ready to start on part 2 of SCUBA. Yeah, don't stay down too long. Okay.
The other one is something I call SCUBA. The SCUBA approach.
The SCUBA approach.
Yeah. If I can't scuba, then what's this all been about? What am I working toward?
That sounds like that stands for something.
Well, it does now.
Okay.
Years ago with Jacques Cousteau, right?
Right.
He invented that. It stood for what?
I don't know.
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Yeah.
Right. Because you and I aren't made to be in water. We don't have gills.
No.
But through the adaptation of scuba equipment, goggles, breathing apparatus, tanks, oxygen, we can be in the water, feeling the coolness of the water or the warmth of the water, seeing the beauty, seeing the dangers, just enjoying this part of our world. We can do this for certain periods of time because of scuba. But the important thing to keep your eye on is what?
Your tank. The air in your tank.
Because you only got so much air in there.
Yeah.
So if you don't keep your eye on the watch, seeing how much air you got in your tank, you could seriously do some damage. You can hurt yourself or even kill yourself. So
tying that into a relationship, are you saying that that's just a way of limiting your time with that person?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we came up with an acronym: sustaining contact, utilizing brief activities.
I love it.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, we'll put that up on the screen. It
Absolutely.
Makes perfect sense.
Sustaining contact, keeping in the relationship,
right?
Utilizing brief activities.
Yep.
So somebody who's feeling the heaviness of a relationship but doesn't want to go, at least at this point, to the place of cutting the relationship off, whether it be family or friend, makes little difference. I mean, the same principle applies.
Oh yeah, right.
They're like, I don't want to cut the relationship off. It's just that I want to really, really careful for my own health about how much time I spend with this person or group of people.
Right.
Ned, I would love to stand here and talk with you, but I'm not going to. See.
So you begin to do some experiments about how much you can tolerate. It happens a lot around the holidays. People drive, across country to have lunch with people they can't stand. And then they come back and they go, I'm depressed. I said, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're depressed if they don't go, and they're depressed if they do go.
Yeah. So it's a tough time for a lot of people.
So going down that road of limiting your time, I think, if you're putting on your scuba gear and you're jumping in the water, you're preparing for that time. Mm-hmm. In your relationships, you would really prepare for that time as well.
Oh yeah.
So you would make sure there are limits. I can go out for coffee with you.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to a meal, maybe.
As opposed to a meal. Or, yes, I can come down and have dinner, but I have work early tomorrow, so I have to head out by 8:30. Mm-hmm. And so you give yourself that hour and a half or 2 hour time frame. So you're limiting yourself. They understand that you can't stay but a certain amount of time. You're spending time with them. You're showing them that you care, but you know that if it continues past that time limit, that, typically, historically, it heads off in a direction that's not good.
Oh, yeah. And people get emotionally, relationally sick, but they also get physically sick from it as well. So the relationship sometimes can be that heavy.
Right. So you're protecting yourself through the entire process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's okay to protect yourself.
Yeah. So those are good examples of local relationships.
Okay.
You have coffee and not a meal, or maybe you have a meal, but you're careful about how much time you spend afterwards, and so you're going to leave. It becomes even more difficult if there's a geographic distance between you and this other person, and so you're going to go drive several hours or days
to visit somebody.
So then that throws in another layer of how are you going to scuba through this?
Yeah, especially, you're going to somebody's home and you're staying with them. I guess you could limit that by just not staying with them, stay in a hotel.
Yeah, we've done that too with folks where they'll be there. One lady I know was there for several days with her parent or parents. I can't remember who was there. And she would just got a hotel and stayed there every evening. So she knew she could be in this particular home every day, but that she would need to go back and be able to get her own meals and watch TV and rest. It was not only emotionally, relationally kind of heavy, but the home was not kept very well and was rather disorganized and a little dirty.
Right.
So she decided that she would scuba, but that she would get her own hotel for a week. And there was a cost involved. I mean, it costs extra money.
Absolutely.
To be able to do this. A friend of mine went to be with her husband to visit his parents.
It's just, being here. I know we've had our...
And she was really dreading the trip. And so we talked about it. She said, no, I think it's important that we go. And it was her method of, quote unquote, honoring the parental relationship of her husband. And so I said, well, you might want to think about a hotel. And she's like, what? And I said, yeah, if you're going to go, and I understand your heart on the issue, maybe you stay for a few hours during the day, then you leave and have a meal on your own, and you and your husband can kind of debrief the day and talk about it, and then you can have your hotel room, and then you can sleep in and get up late and go over late the next day, maybe take lunch or go out for lunch, stay a few hours, and then leave. And she says, oh gosh, I feel even lighter just thinking about it that way.
Yeah.
And she really still wasn't looking forward to going, but it was less dread.
Right. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at that.
So there's all kinds of ways, and it's usually if you can, you and I talk about all kinds of things all the time.
Right.
So, but not everybody has this kind of relationship like you and I have, but they need to get a relationship like you and I have. Everybody needs somebody, right?
Yeah. I don't think anybody can find a relationship like we have.
That's probably true.
Yeah. We're blessed. We're trying to share it with everyone else.
Folks would probably agree or disagree.
Yeah, I don't know. Put it in the comments
Those guys are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
They would be practicing scuba on us.
Look at them. They're wearing shirts that are similar. This video is too long. I think I'll limit it. Oh, don't do that. Watch it to the end.
Please do.
Like it, subscribe. Don't scuba with us.
No. So that's the scuba. You can do nothing with a relationship. You can totally cut it off.
Right.
Or you can scuba. You can choose amounts of time and experiment with it. This was a little bit too long.
Right.
Or I think it could go a little longer. Or this was definitely too long. Or maybe you talk it over with other people so that they can pitch in ideas that maybe you just wouldn't think of on your own.
Okay, I have one question before we end this. Would you recommend doing scuba before cutting it off?
Possibly.
And probably, I would almost think that scuba would be in the middle in a bigger box.
Probably.
So a small box of do nothing, a small box of cut off, and then a big box of scuba.
I think that's a good idea.
Saying, look, this is the preferred way because you can at least keep your fingers in the relationship, because you never know what might become of that relationship at some point in time in your life. Sure. You can be a huge benefit to them. Mm-hmm. They can bless you and be a benefit to you. You just don't know where those roads lead. So I think that would be a good idea.
I think you're 100% right.
Yeah. So scuba is a big box, and then the other boxes do nothing and cut off if you absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah, man.
Ooh.
Cool. So, hey, thank you for coming to another episode of Tabletop Coffee, where we talked about scuba and talked about managing relationships that can be difficult. Do you cut them off? Do you just deal with it the way it is? Or do you throw some limiting factors in there? And we covered all of that. And I thought there was some really great information to pull from that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I hope it's helpful for folks.
Yeah, I think it will be. I was thinking about the coffee tonight, and it's really, really good.
That's because it's from Traeger Brothers.
Trader Brothers.
Traeger
Brothers Coffee.
Trager. Traeger Brothers Coffee.
And where can you get that?
Livingston, Virginia, just north of Lynchburg. They have their own roastery there. It is totally USDA organic.
Do you have to drive there?
No, I get mine at Fresh Market in Lynchburg.
Oh. Will they ship it to you? Can you go online?
They will ship it to you as well. So people could go online and go to Traeger Brothers Coffee, Livingston, Virginia, and get some Blend 90 coffee. That's my favorite.
Okay. All right. So give it a try.
Absolutely.
Let us know what you think.
Wonderful.
Put it in the comments below. If you don't like it, listen to their jingle.
They will
like their jingle.
Their coffee's much better than their jingle.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. If you listen to their jingle, it's kind of like listening to a bunch of these. It's really bad. So we hope you liked the episode tonight. Be sure to subscribe. Click that bell for the next episode that will come out. Mm-hmm. And
I like it.
Yep, like it. Tell your friends. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.